welcome back to my channel. So today I have the Derwent Chromoflow Colored Pencils. This is the 24 pack. Derwent was nice enough to send me these in the mail so that I can unbox them and review them with all of you. Now these pencils are a little bit of a mystery because they were not released to the UK, and so I've watched a few different YouTube videos. People are kind of wondering what the story is. They are available in the US and in India as of right now. Right now on Amazon they are actually available. They were kind of hard to get a hold of there in the beginning when they were first released. They do only come in this 24 pack as well as a 12 pack. But we are going to take a look at these today, and we are going to unbox them and review them. And like I do in all of my videos, we are going to swatch them out. After we have them all laid out, I will discuss with you my thoughts on the different colors and what they've included in this 24 set. I will probably pull out my Prismacolors because supposedly these pencils are supposed to be very close to Prismacolors. They're supposed to be very soft core, very blendable. So we're going to test these out a little bit today, and we are going to find out. Let's go ahead and get into this video. Let's go ahead and take a look at the box that they come in. So it says Derwent Chromoflow. Of course, this is the 24 count. They come in a 24 count as well as a 12 count. I will have links down in the description box below if you're interested in getting these pencils. They were really hard to get a hold of for quite a while, but they are available now, and if you go to Amazon you will find that you could get the 24 count for $35.94 right now and the 12 count for $16.01. If we look at the tin, it says vibrant blendable color, smooth creamy laydown, premium core strength that can handle pressure. Here on the back of the tin it just says Derwent drawn to perfection, Chromoflow professional quality, and then down here it says achieve exceptional color saturation with rich pigments and bold colors, rely on pencils that last longer due to less breakage when sharpening and in use. Enjoy consistent quality for every project. And then it just has their website down here towards the bottom. And then of course their little Made in Britain little emblem there. Let's go ahead and take the plastic off. You're going to get 2 trays of 12. Let's go ahead and look at the colors as they lay in the trays. So we start with our yellows. It looks like we've got a very deep, vibrant, beautiful yellow. And then we move down here and we've got a very bright yellowish orange. And then we have another orange here that seems to have a lot of brown in it than our regular orange. And then we've got a red. I don't know if that really looks like a true red. We're going to have to swatch these and see, but we've got a red here, or what looks to be like a red. And then we've got this brick red color. And then we have this very pale, what looks to be like a very pale pink. And then here it looks to be maybe a salmon and then a maroon. And then we've got a couple purples. And this one looks like either a deep, deep purple or a deep blue. I think it may be a blue, because if we come to this tray, you can see that we've got blues here as well. So we've got a bright mid-tone of blue, then a lighter blue, and then we go here to an aquamarine sort of color. And then we have what looks to be a forest green. Here we have a mossier looking green, and then more of a true green. Then we have, I don't know, is this tan maybe, or sort of like a clay color? And then our browns. We have, it looks like we've got one gray, and then a black, and then our white. Let's go ahead and take a look at the actual pencil itself. So this is the lead that they come with when they come to you in the mail. Of course, we all know I'm going to sharpen that with my Dahle 133. And of course, I'm going to show you in this video too, like I do with all of my other pencil reviews, how this pencil performs with the Dahle 133. It says on here, made in Britain, and then Derwent Chromoflow. If you look up here towards the top, you can see that it says violet, which is the name of the color, and then has an 11 here. So I believe every one of these pencils does have a name as well as a number. If we look at the top of the pencil, we can see that it does have a color dipped tip. I can't tell you yet until I swatch them whether or not the colors the color that comes out of the lead actually matches to the color dipped tip, but it's got the color dipped tip and then has this little gold ring around here, as does a lot of the other Derwent pencils. I believe the color color soft are that way as well. Now this barrel does seem very small, and so I would like to compare that to another one of Derwent's pencils. I grabbed my Lightfast. I've got one Lightfast. If you didn't know, you can actually go on Derwent's website and there's a section that you could go to there that allows you to order a pencil just to test it out and see if you like it. I believe that you can do it with Inktense as well as the Lightfast, but I already had the Inktense pencils, so I ordered a sample of the Lightfast, and I'm assuming this is the color that they may just send to everyone. This is the Venetian Red. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the tip of these side by side. You can clearly see that the tip of the Lightfast pencil is much like the rest of Derwent's lines of pencils, where it is thicker. And then if you look at the Chromoflow, it is much thinner. Let's go ahead and see how that compares to a Prismacolor. So I've got my Prismacolor here, and you can see them all very much side by side. Of course, the Prismacolor does not have the color dipped tip like the Derwent do, but if we look at these very closely, it looks like the Chromoflow is very similar to the thickness of the barrel of the Prismacolor, and so I believe it probably is a 3.5 millimeter barrel. Now that we've taken a closer look at the pencils, y'all know what I always do in all of my pencil reviews. You all know that this is my absolute favorite pencil sharpener. This is the Dahle 133. I will always have this linked down in the description box below if you're interested. Let's go ahead and grab one of our Derwent Chromoflow, and I am going to put it in the pencil sharpener. And I like to do this just because I like to see how the wood feels in the pencil, or whatever pencil it is that I'm reviewing. As most of you know, if the pencil is more of a budget-friendly pencil, they may tend to be a little bit harder, and you can definitely tell when you start spinning the little lever back here whether the pencil is softer or the pencil is harder. If you were sharpening something like a Crayola, you would have to put a whole lot of effort into turning this lever, but if you were sharpening something like a Prismacolor, it would just turn with ease. So I'm going to go ahead and start turning this, and of course it turns with ease, and it stopped on its own. So let's go ahead and pull the pencil out, and this is the lead that we have now. And the pencil sharpener stopped on its own when it was done, and these are the kind of tips that I love on my pencils. Let's go ahead and do the same thing with a green colored pencil, because sometimes when you have sets of pencils, one color in the set will perform differently or feel differently than another one in the set. And that's probably not the case with these, because these are by Derwent and they're not a budget set, but we're going to try it anyway just to see. So let's go ahead and stick it in the pencil sharpener. And it feels just the same as the other one, just as I thought. But I'm going to be swatching these out and doing a blend test. So now I'll have to use green for my blend test since I've already got that one sharpened. let's go ahead and move on to the next part of the video. And so now we are going to grab my swatch sheet. And so many of you ask me when you see this swatch sheet on camera, you're always asking me, where do I get that? And if you check the link down below in the description box, I always have a link there to sign up for my email list. If you sign up for my email list, you will get this exact swatch sheet sent back to you in your email. Usually I set the swatching portion of my videos to music, but I'm not going to do that today. I am just going to discuss how I feel about the colors as I lay them all out, because there's only 24 colors to swatch, so I think that we will be just fine. So here's the white. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. What is our next color called? We have Sun Yellow, and it is number 1. I'm assuming that they had all, let me see what white was. Yeah, see, since I moved mine, white was number 24, so I guess they had them laying in order inside the tin. Now, when I swatch out, if you've watched my swatching videos before, when I swatch out my pencils, I like to do one layer all the way from the top to the bottom. And then I like to come right back here and lay another layer. And then I want to put a thicker layer down here at the bottom. And this is so when I'm choosing my colors, I can see all of the different values of the color on my swatch sheet. And so it just sort of helps me to be able to pick my colors just a little bit better. Now this one is Amber Gold. And again, I'm just going to lay the one layer down, and then I'm going to come back here, lay a second layer, and then a thicker layer. This one is Golden Sun. It's number 3. The next one is our, looks to be our True Orange, or maybe not. Maybe it has a little bit of yellow in it. This one's called Flame. Oh, I felt a little bit of scratchiness there. I don't know, maybe it was just a fluke. These sort of feel a little bit like the Color Soft pencils as I'm laying them down. They don't feel like a Prismacolor. This one is Scarlet. I'm going to, this is the Spring Hill paper. You all know that I always use the Spring Hill paper. But when we do the blend test, I am going to lay down some color with a Prismacolor, and I'm going to lay down some color also with these pencils. And I am going to see the difference in how they feel, because I don't know, a lot of people are saying, I went through on Amazon, this color is called Strawberry. I went through on Amazon and I read a lot of the reviews. A lot of the reviews, first of all, were very mixed. And then I read quite a few reviews where people were saying that they received a box, but there was no lid on their tin, or without a tin or something. I'm wondering if it was just a mistake or a fluke or something that happened in shipping. Who knows? Or maybe a manufacturer error. I don't know. But there were very many very strange reviews. If you go on Amazon, you will see what I mean. But this color is Salmon. This is a pretty color. Now we've got this very, okay, yes, magenta. This is very pretty. I love colors like this. Oh, this one blended with this one, I bet that would be absolutely gorgeous. Oh, and this, see this one already. Now see, I didn't sharpen my pencils before I did my swatch. You know how I always tell y'all how it's so important to sharpen your pencils, because they're always going to have a protective film on the lead of the pencil, and you want to really make sure that you sharpen your pencil. The difference with that one that was sharpened compared to these pencils that are not sharpened was quite a bit of a difference. This one is called Blush Pink. Now we have Lilac. And the last one in this tray is our Violet. And then our thickest layer. Now we're coming over to the second tray. And we've got our darkest of our blues. This one's called Denim. Our second layer, and then down here at the bottom with our third. Now I have light blue. And we have another blue. This one is just called Blue. And our second layer, and the last one. Now we have this beautiful aquamarine color. It's called Turquoise Green. And our second layer, and our third layer. Now, I told y'all I was going to let you know if the color dipped tip of the pencil is matching up to what I see on the paper. And if I look at the lead, I could see that the lead pretty much, I don't know, the lead looks a little bit darker. I assume if I lay down another layer, it would be the color as the lead. But if I look at the color dip tip, you can see that it is pretty much the same color as well as what is going down on my paper. At least for that one it is. Okay, so we have Basil. That's a different name. I like that. Now we've got our second layer and then a much darker third layer. Now if I do that again, you can see that the color dip tip does match up to the color that is down on my swatch chart. This one is called Foliage. It's number 17. Oh, that's a pretty color. Our second layer, and then our third. We are about halfway done now with this tray. Now this one I had sharpened with the Dahle 133. So this one is probably going to feel different when I lay it down. This is Grass Green. And I have one layer, and a second layer, and a third. And it does feel much more similar with the sharpened ones to a Prismacolor. And before I sharpened them, they felt much more similar to what my Color Soft pencils felt like when I swatched those out. This one is Burnt Sienna, or even when I colored with those. I've not pulled out my Color Soft in quite a while. If you're looking for a review on the Color Soft, I will link that up in the upper right hand corner. I did do a review on those quite a while ago. This one is called Raisin. This is a pretty color. So we have like a brownish red, which is good. And then we have over here other variations of our orange. And I don't know, like, see, I'm already critiquing the colors and I've not even finished swatching, so I'm getting ahead of myself. So this is the natural brown. We'll get back to that. Now a second layer, and a third. I think I'm going to have to go over the swatch just a little bit after I sharpen my pencils. This is platinum, so this is the gray that you get in the set. It looks to be like a very cool gray. And here's our third. It's a pretty shade of gray. It definitely looks like a cooler gray rather than a warmer one. And then we have black. Let's see how opaque our black is. Now let's do a second layer and then a third. That looks pretty black. It looks like a nice black if you lay down enough layers. So here's all the colors all laid out together, and we're just going to take a look at some of these colors. Of course, I didn't write the names down, and usually I do that prior to the video, but these were not opened yet, and I didn't take a break in the middle of the video to do that, so I hope y'all don't mind. But it's just going to make it a little bit harder for me because I'm going to be looking back and forth. But it looks like we get a true yellow. This was our sun yellow, and that's beautiful and bright. I love that color. And then we get a yellowish orange, as well as an orange that has a little bit of brown in it. That's a pretty color though. That would mix really well and blend really well with probably this color over here and even this brown here. I bet these would look really pretty together. And even this one here with this bright orange. And then we have what is supposed to be a red here. What were they calling that one? Scarlet? Yes, I believe that is scarlet. And then this one is strawberry. But neither one of them really look like a true red to me. This one almost looks like it has, I don't know, that looks more like a burnt red. And then this still looks like it has quite a bit of orange in it. I don't know, y'all could tell me if you're seeing that differently on camera, but this doesn't look like a true red to me. And then we have this really pale blush and a magenta. And this is a really pretty coral-like color. This one is called Blush Pink, and that is beautiful. And that would look really pretty if you're coloring a portrait and you wanted a beautiful pink color for like the cheeks, to do some shading in on the cheeks on a portrait. That would be really pretty. And then we have a purple and then even darker purple. This is a really pretty color, and these two look like they would blend well together. Then we have a very dark blue, and we've got a brighter blue, and then we have more of a mid-tone blue. So we're getting three blues here, which is really cool. And then we've got this really pretty aquamarine type color, which they called turquoise green. And then we have this color here, which was called basil. And then what was this one called? So we've got basil and we've got foliage. And these would look really pretty blended together, I think. These greens are all very different in this set. We have more of a true green, then we have a mossier green, and then we have more of a hunter type green. But they're all very different. And then we have this color that's a little bit, that's sort of a different color, but it's really pretty. And like I said earlier, it looks like it would probably be really cool blended with some of these colors over here in this area. And then we have this it looks like a very brick red again. This one has more orange in it, and then this one looks like it has more red or brownish in it, I guess. They have it with the browns, so I'm assuming this is their brownish red. And then this is probably just a much lighter version of it and has more orange in it. And then we've got our regular brown, and then we have a gray and a black. So now we are ready to do a blend test like I do in all of my pencil review videos. And what I did is I took these three blues right here. I have them here, and I've sharpened them with my Dahle 133 to a nice sharp lead. And I chose Prismacolors that matched up the best, or at least what I think the best, to these colors As you can see, they look very similar. And as I look at my swatch sheet, I'm noticing that, I don't know, I was like, well, let me do greens. And I really wasn't sure how these greens were going to blend together. And I wanted to do a monochromatic blend to be able to test the blendability of these pencils and match them up really good to my Prismacolors so that we could get a really good comparison. And the ones that look like they would blend the best together were the blues that we had. And we had 3 blues, so I thought that that was the best choice. Of course, I probably could have done the pinks too, but we have 3 blues, so we are going to go ahead and try our blend test with those. And I wanted to also see about maybe blending these colors together with the Prismacolors and see how well they blend together, mixing the pencils. So let's go ahead and start here with our darkest, which is Denim. And they do lay down very nicely. They do, now that they are sharpened, feel very much like a Prismacolor. I'm going here into this transition area and sort of pulling down. And now I'm coming back with my lightest color, starting at my transition area and pulling down. Okay, so that is pretty much one layer with a pretty light hand. Let's go ahead and come back and go over this again. And I'm trying to keep track. Sometimes when I'm filming, I lose track of how many layers I have laid down on my paper. Is that, no, I was picking up the wrong color. Okay, so here is the mid-tone. And I'm using a fairly light hand to add a second layer. And now I have my third blue, the lightest one. Okay, so let's come back again. What is this, number 3? I always lose track, I'm telling y'all, always. So I'm gonna go over this in a circular motion and pull this down into the other color. Then I'm going to come back with the mid-tone, come over this transition line and pull down once again. Now, I believe I'm on 3, and I'm already feeling like the white of the paper is pretty much getting filled up, and this is a rather toothy paper. So that's number 4. And this is number 4 of our lightest tone. Let's see if we can get one more layer down here. And this time let's go in a little bit of a circular motion, trying to fill some of the white of that paper. Gosh, is this 5? Oh man. Okay, let me get my next color. And I'm pulling that down into the transition area. And yeah, I don't know, I'm thinking we're at about 5 layers. Well, it's still taking more pigment here. More layers, more layers. So we've got 6. And then if I wanted to, so I've got 6 layers down here, and a lot of the weight of the paper is pretty much filled, and they did go down very nicely on the paper, and you can see that they blended very well together. You can barely see a transition line in between each one of these colors. Let me come back here and just go in a circular motion with my lightest color and just pull everything through and together. These do feel harder than a Prismacolor. Okay, so now we have the Prismacolors, and I'm going to do the same thing with my Prismacolors. So I think we had 5 layers. And then we came back over with the 6th where we just burnished everything together. So I'm going to try to count here and see. The Prismacolors are definitely softer. That's 1. 2. And 3. I did a pretty good match, y'all. Okay, so this is my second layer, coming back down with light pressure, pulling into the next area. Okay, so that was my second one. I'm going to do this pretty quick just to get these colors laid down. So this is number 3. Now we're going to come back with 4. And see, I'm already on 4 and I still see a lot of the way to the paper with the Prismacolors. And the Prismacolors, I don't know if it's the paper or what, but they are moving around. The wax of the pencils is moving around a lot better. So this is 5. And I think that I could get more layers down with the Prismacolor. So we're going to come back and we're going to do 6. And this is 7. So this is a pretty cool test because it's on the same paper. And you could see them both side by side. They are the same colors. And I'm coming back with 8. And the paper is still taking the pencil. So I've got 8 over here and I still see white. And so yeah, I can get a lot more layers down on this paper with the Prismacolors. Now, if I were to come back with my lightest color and just go in a circular motion and blend all of these together after the 8 layers, I could do that too, just like I did on the other side. I know y'all are gonna have the question, are these close to a Prismacolor? Because all of the talk on the internet between YouTube and Amazon and everything else, the coloring groups, a lot of people are asking how much like a Prismacolor are these pencils. And I don't know, like after doing this swatch side by side, yes, I do like the Chromoflow. Of course, I would have to color with them a little bit more to really be able to tell and use all of the colors. But of course, there are only 24 colors, and that's the most you can get at this point. If you wanted to be able to try out a Derwent brand of pencils and you wanted to be able to try out the a wax base or a soft core wax based pencil, these would probably be a good choice for you because you can get a 24 set for right around, what did I say earlier? How much are these right now on Amazon? They are $35.94. Now, all of you that are collectors and want to have your pencils and want to have all of the pencils, you probably would want to add these to your collection as well, although they are not available open stock now, and I don't know if they have any plans to release these to be able to purchase them in open stock. So there is that to think about as well, because as of right now, you can't get them open stock, whereas with the Prismacolors, you can go right on Blick and you can order them open stock anytime you want to. You could even go on Amazon, and if you ran out of your white pencil, like I always run out of white pencils, and you can go on Amazon and you can buy a box of 12 white pencils, which yes, I did. So let's go ahead and use these pencils together and see how they play with one another. Now, I will say the Prismacolor is much softer. If I am looking at this really, really closely, I don't know if you could tell when I was blending these together, how the wax of the Prismacolor just sort of moves around. And this gets to the point where it just does not move anymore. It just pretty much stays. This is a much softer pencil. This one, I don't know, they're both soft. I don't want to say this one is much softer, but we all know how soft the Prismacolors are. But this one is a soft pencil. It is probably going to hold its point longer for you. If you are someone that is heavy-handed, you would probably want to go ahead and pick up a pack of these Chromoflows and try them out. And for the small set, it's really not that expensive. So that's another alternative for you. The one last thing that I want to do is I want to see how well these pencils play together with one another. And so I have the non-photo blue. I didn't even say what colors I matched these up to. So let me go ahead and let you know which ones, just in case you want to know. But this is denim, and the denim matched up to the indigo blue in the Prismacolor set. And then this is the light blue on the Chromoflow, and the light blue was almost a perfect match to the non-photo blue. And then we have the blue. This one's just called blue in the Chromoflow set. And that one matched up really well to the true blue in the Prismacolors. I'm going to use my denim, which was the darkest shade of blue from the Chromoflow set, and then I grabbed my true blue, which was what I used for my mid-tone in my Prismacolor set. And we're just going to see really quickly how these work together. So let me go ahead and lay down some of this color, and then I'm going to blend the Prismacolor right into it. Oh, they blend really nice, I could already tell. Let's go ahead and come back with the darker color, and then the lighter color. Can you see how the Prismacolor is laying down quite a bit more pigment than the Chromoflow? It seems to be a bit more saturated. Now let's come back the other direction. And then do the same with this one. But they blended together really nicely, and I'm taking this Prismacolor and I'm just blending into the Chromoflow pencil, and they work really well together. So you can blend them together. Oh, and then this one lays down. Goodness, so this one is laying down much smoother and much nicer after I put some of the wax from the Prismacolor in that area. So that's an idea. If you wanted to blend your colors together possibly and create more colors by blending the colors together with one another. My final thoughts on these pencils, and I have probably already shared a few of my final thoughts in the previous part of the video, but if you are looking for a pencil and you just want to try out a small set and you kind of want to learn how to just blend your colors together, and you want some other colors to sort of mix in with some of your other sets, or you are just a collector and you have to have all of the pencils, grab yourself some of these. As far as comparing them to a Prismacolor, considering everybody seems to think that this was Derwent's idea or the closest they've come to a Prismacolor, I don't know. They are harder than the Prismacolor. You can see that I could not get as many layers down as I did with the Prismacolor. You can see that the Prismacolor did move around as far as the wax or the pigment on the paper. The Prismacolor was able to move around, and I was able to maneuver it around on the paper much more so than I was with the Chromoflow. But they are a really wonderful pencil, and they did blend together very nicely. If you look at this, you cannot even see the transition lines. And it does look very much like the Prismacolors. So if we were comparing in that way, then I would say they're a really good choice, and they're probably going to be a better choice than a Prismacolor for somebody who is more heavy-handed. And you're most likely going to be able to keep a sharper point for longer, saving your pencils. If you put that into consideration, then you are probably actually saving a little bit more money, because you are not going to be sharpening your pencils away, and they're going to be able to hold their tip for much longer. Now, when you are using your colored pencils to preserve the tip on your pencil, when you're holding your pencil, you always want to be turning your pencil like this as you use it and you color. So you color a little bit after you sharpened it, and you turn your pencil and you color a little bit more. And that is how I preserve my Prismacolors. But you can do that with any pencil, and you always should be doing that, because it helps you to keep the sharper lead on your pencil and helps you to get into all the much smaller, intricate areas. So if y'all have any questions about these pencils, I am going to use them a little bit more and color with them a little bit. If you want to see me color something with them, please let me know in the comments below. I enjoyed bringing you this video again, as I do with all of my videos. If there is anything that you would like to see here on my channel, please do let me know also in the comments below. If you would like to join my Facebook group, it is a wonderful community of colorists. And it's a very active group, very supportive. It's a wonderful place to be on Facebook. You will find a link for that down in the description box below. You will also find a link for my email list, as well as my Patreon, if you would like to support me there. And if you liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up, because it really helps my channel to grow. I hope to see you all in the next video. Happy coloring. Bye.